And once more, welcome back everybody to more Mechabellum. Playing against a very high level player. I like napping. I do as well, by the way. Napping is great. Like, as a child you probably didn't like it, but the more you grow older, the more you kinda get happy when you can just take a bit of a rest. At least that's my experience. Anyway, I like napping is starting with spiders and crawlers. Meanwhile, I'm playing with stormcrawlers and arclights. In theory, I have a pretty good start here. Like, the arclights can get rid of the crawlers, and then the stormcrawlers can get rid of the spiders. Sounds like a good deal. I drop some additional fangs as a first round chaff, and what does my opponent do? Let's speed this up a bit. The gears are turning in the head. And we are seeing marksman. Solid choice, I think. Although not particularly amazing into stormcrawlers. Then again, almost nothing that's on the ground is particularly amazing into stormcrawlers. I didn't even use my quick supply money here. My opponent is fortified spec. Anyhow, the first round should go fairly good here. I don't remember all the details of this game. We do see some solid hits on the spider, even with the first salvo. I think one stormcrawler on each side had actually locked onto the spiders. Unfortunately, the crawlers kinda get in, because the arclights got distracted, and this spider survives with a sliver of health and takes an entire next salvo. This is all gonna come down to whether the stormcrawlers can kill all of the crawlers, while one crawler apparently has taken it upon himself to kill everything, I guess, and distract all the stormcrawlers. Tower falls as well, and what I thought would be a win ends up being a loss, simply because the arclights locked onto the spiders before they killed the late chaff. Well, I think haste is pretty solid here. My opponent skipped altogether. I wouldn't mind haste, honestly. It's always good on something, even on some stormcrawlers, but I guess he just wanted the money to get 2 stormcrawlers out right here and now. So I have stormcrawlers. I still have 600 bucks in the bank. And I do simply drop some chaff. So what else do I do? I drop more chaff. Still keeping my money, I guess. There really hasn't been that great of an opportunity to spend here, I think. Like, what would I have spent it on? Like, maybe just mass recruit stormcrawlers? Not particularly my primary choice. Anyway, we still get some hits off. We even get some hits on the marksman. This time, I have some late chaff myself. And some fangs that can get rid of the wayward crawler that's pushing in. Once again, the spider here survives with a sliver of health, taking an entire next salvo. But this time I have quote-unquote chaff clear. At least I have something here that can get rid of some of these units. And the marksman survives with a sliver of health. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to my own units in that sense, but it feels like all my opponent's units are very good at surviving with a sliver of health. This round is going in my favor. The additional chaff was able to win it. And we are still sitting on, at least for round 3, a small fortune here. Unit drops. We have Fire Badgers, Sabertooths, Phoenixes, and a Vulcan. I think the canonical route to take this match is now to take the Vulcan and just tech it. My opponent takes the Phoenixes. He may fear me do exactly that, but I also take the Phoenixes here, and we'll see who makes it work. My opponent dropped some crawlers here and bought the mobile beacon. I leveled these stormcrawlers, should be doing a very good amount of damage now. 2.4k damage with each missile. And I guess the chaff recruiting continues. I have a similar plan here. And then I do drop 2 additional Phoenixes and used 100 more than I had before. So I do now run a fair amount of Phoenixes, whereas my opponent has just these level 2 ones, but he also has Marksman. I didn't fully expect him to pick the Phoenixes simply because he already has Marksman out. But then again, it's like 2 Marksmen from round 1, not much investment. My opponent's mobile beacon kinda also mobile beacons my own crawlers in a sense. So I'm not even unhappy about all of this. This spider got exposed and is being shot at immediately. I do like to see that. One phoenix has locked onto a spider. The Arclights are getting rid of the chaff until they are being gotten rid of by the phoenixes. And these are just the level 1 phoenixes. But there still is chaff in the way. Marksman kinda taking out stuff that doesn't all that matter much. I still have some chaff left, which is the late fangs, and the last phoenix takes out the one of the phoenixes takes out the remaining anti-air, which means that the phoenixes now auto-win. All in all, not a big win, but the phoenixes did win, and I didn't lose any of my level... was it 3? Yeah, level 3 phoenixes, and they are almost up to leveling themselves. My opponent skipped. I think I took the supply. No, I took the javelin. Was this one of the matches where I completely messed it up? I think this was one of the matches where I completely effing messed the javelin up. My opponent gets additional phoenixes. That does make sense. He also sold one of the marksmen. That makes sense as well. Yeah, I think I completely fumbled these up. Ah, no. I didn't really want to go for these phoenixes. I wanted to go for the stormcallers instead. Thinking that if I can get rid of the stormcallers, keep my units alive, not lose so much chaff, I can easily get that, and that spider hopefully gets hit by the javelin as well. I'm pretty sure that was the plan, because that'll basically make this entire side cave, phoenixes or not. So what else do we have? I dropped some sledges just to delay. Because they will take this phoenix a long time, over 15 seconds, to pierce through all of them and reload. And meanwhile, my stormcallers can just shoot, and my phoenixes can shoot, and my arclights can clear chaff. And the sledges themselves are also chaff clear. Should be good, I hope. Alright, Phoenix has been locked onto simply because my opponent's Phoenixes have range and my Phoenix is pushed ahead of chaff. I do get rid of all of this nonsense. There's one level 3 Phoenix alive. And 3 of my Phoenixes, so range didn't work out well enough. I didn't even pay attention to how much the javelin did. I think it didn't kill the spider and I was pretty annoyed at that. Because I messed it up. Not by a whole lot, I bet, but I still messed it up. Iron Blast, Acid Blast, Elite Mustang, Advanced Defensive. All pretty powerful cards in my opinion. I could technically go Mustangs, but do I want to go Mustangs into Spiders is a bit of a big question. I guess there's always the transition into Scorpions and then just blast everything, but Scorpions get blasted by these Phoenixes. So my opponent has built a Firestorm Caller Phoenix army and some Wasps for support. He also uses fire in the middle. So I would say that I'm expected to lose this round. Meanwhile, I'm just feeling the sledges. I think I started selling Arclights. Makes sense. Bought another unit of chaff, probably. Yep, another crawler back here. Doesn't matter a whole lot. This side is gonna burn here. Level 1 sledges don't immediately die to fire, but they still die pretty quickly. So in a sense, now that I have range as well, it's also the round that I don't expect to get much out of range here. Firestorm Caller's definitely doing a lot of work here. And this is a pretty big tempo round for my opponent. Although he kinda bought himself a lot with fire, revealing that he was going to do that and investing into that tech. And then also picking the oil. So now the sort of Damocles, the oil that constantly hangs upon your head or above your head, that kind of has sprung now, this trap. So the question is, what else do I do?